Ford has been serving the Cleveland community since 2003. Since opening, they have had one goal in mind: serving the community through sales and service. Cleveland Ford is the home of the F-Series, the best-selling trucks in America for over 40 years. Whether it's a practical family car, tough truck, or SUV, find it at the right price at Cleveland Ford. Call them at 423-472-5454 or visit them in person on South Lee Highway at the Bypass or online at clevelandford.com.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no slide. Got a thirst for killing.
Welcome into The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. I hope everyone out there is having a good afternoon. It feels so good outside. It's usually in early August. It's brutal out there temperature-wise, but it actually is fairly doable right now.
Did you see that Sunday broke a all-time record low high for Chattanooga? It was set in like the 1800s, but it was so beautiful. It's been really beautiful weather the past couple days, man. And what's exciting about that is it means fall is starting to come on down the track, which means football is upon us.
Yeah, and can you imagine the players that are out there practicing? They're probably loving it, though. But hey, you know what? I'm just glad that there's a little reprieve. Speaking of reprieve, we've got someone that's taken a little reprieve to join our show right now. Andy's going to be here in a little while. But we got Mark Smith is joining us right now. And, Mark, how is everything in your world?
Crazy. It's crazy. It's football season. It's, school coming back and all the things that I'm involved with all the different schools around the country. And it's nuts. And, getting ready, getting here. Got my football tickets for Knoxville lined up. If you need some tickets, let me know. But we got UTC is going full speed. I mean, everybody's going full speed. It's an exciting year because with the exception, even Arch Manning is still a new quarterback. I don't care. And everybody's got a new quarterback in college.
Right, exactly. And that's what makes it fun. And that's why yesterday, the coaches poll came out. And that's going to be one of our discussion talking points here in just a little bit. Are you pro preseason polls or are you anti preseason polls? But literally, you look at the top, other than Clemson. Clemson has an established quarterback, but it seems like every other program is like a guy that's maybe played a little bit or they haven't played at all.
Yeah, Penn State has a returning quarterback. A lot of people, that's why they're high on him. But for the most part, you've got a lot of new blood, and you just don't know what you're going to expect. Man, when you step into college on a college field, it's a lot faster than it used to be. So I'm excited, man. We were talking before air. Georgia had a gauntlet last year, having to play Alabama on the road, Ole Miss on the road, and Texas on the road. All three of those programs have a new quarterback, just like we've got a new quarterback. So it's going to be really interesting.
It makes the unknown that much more fun.
And, of course, he doesn't mention he's got to go to Tennessee with the new quarterback.
We do have to do that. Third week,
game of the year.
Third week of the year. And it's crazy to think that is so soon. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's right down the street from us. We're flirting with the idea. And me and Andy doing something up there in Knoxville the day of with the drive. So, stay tuned. Me and Andy may be making a live appearance up there for that game.
We talked a lot about what's going on at the quarterback position in Knoxville. There's all sorts of different things coming out of Knoxville, and I don't know what's true, what's not true. You get so many different reports. What's your feeling about the quarterback battle up there in Knoxville?
We'll find out August 30th.
And don't they have like a scrimmage on Saturday?
That's fine. Here, the coaches again. We don't go to practice.
Right.
Okay. I forget the guy. Pittman was his name or something like that. was a great practice player at Tennessee.
We've seen a lot of guys.
The guy went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Peterman.
Yeah.
Was the best practice player in the world.
Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, was the best practice quarterback in the history of college football. You put him out in the front of the people, and he couldn't throw it to a wide open guy. I mean, that's how bad he was, But here, when you turn the lights come on, and who again, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I think that you're going to sit back on August 30th, and you're going to watch a lot of great football. I mean, there's games right out of the bat.
And Syracuse is a quality opponent. You better not sleep on them. They've got some dudes there.
Everybody's got dudes now, okay? And you're going to have to, again, it's who's ready to go right now and who's got the most consistency. And, I'm going to quote General Nealon. I say this all the time. The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's talk about this preseason poll stuff. I saw a lot of people going off about there don't need to be any preseason polls. That's ridiculous. I'm fine with it. Doing a sports show, that makes our job fun because we're like we can sit here and critique and we can make fun of it and we can say this is great. So for those of you that may not have seen it, this is what the USA Today coaches poll looks like. We'll do the top 10. Texas is number 1. They got 28 first-place votes. Ohio State number 2 with 20. Penn State number 3 with 14 first-place votes. Georgia number 4 with 3 first-place votes. Notre Dame number 5. Clemson number 6. They actually got 2 first-place votes. Then you got Oregon 7, Alabama 8, LSU 9, and the Miami Hurricanes sitting there at number 10. Tennessee, in case you're wondering, number 18 in the USA Today coaches poll. What's your opinion, first off, Andy, about preseason polls? Are you pro or are you anti?
For me, I'm pro because I'm a little tired of all the changing going on. I like things how they're supposed to be.
Tradition.
Yeah. So you switch up the C and D and cookie dough, you get dookie cough. Like I don't. It's not always the grass is not always greener, right? Yeah. Just give me the same. I like the preseason poll. I like getting excited about football. At the end of the day, that schedule is going to play out, and they're going to be ranked somewhere at the end of the year. The College Football Committee is going to rank them. I don't really care what that has to say at the beginning, but it's fun. It's fun to talk about.
What about you, Mark?
Well, the polls are they're here. There used to be the polls came out the 6th week of the season. The reason why the polls come out before the first week is TV revenue. Make no mistake about it. This is all revenue driven. Hey, when they go, Texas is playing Ohio State on
Fox.
Fox.
1 versus 2.
It's 2, and that's right. And that's why they can go get top dollar.
Yep.
For the advertising for that, and that's how they make all that stuff work. Because before, I don't know, it's been in the last 8 to 10 years. The polls mean absolutely nothing because you know what? This is based on last year. Hey, like they've got Arizona State 11. Arizona State brings back almost everybody but Cam Scadaboo. Well, you take 60% of your offense away.
Big part missing.
You got that. Illinois, who knows what? I mean. They're the missing link. SMU, nobody knows what they've got, okay?
Well, you got BYU. Their quarterback just transferred to Tulane.
Right.
And I was shocked to see them in the top 25. But they're sitting there at number 23.
Again, this is, and I'll be honest with you, there's not one college head coach that votes on this. This is given this.
Mostly the SIDs.
Yeah, well, okay. And what the SID, here, my job is to promote the program. Here, it's just good to start off. It gives us something to talk about, and when you see, okay, we're going to have Ohio State play Texas, the number 1 versus 2 at noon on the 30th, and if people don't understand why this game is at noon, that's when Fox has their big game.
Their ratings are pretty darn strong.
Yeah, well, when you have the Big Ten and you see where the schools are at and the Big Ten are at, there's the majority of the population of the United States is in those things. And now that they've added the West Coast in there,
last time I looked, California's got a large population base.
Well, you got L.A., and when UCLA and USC decided to get in, I mean that brought a lot of people. I mean that's what L.A.'s got about 7-8 million people out there in that area, and
let's be honest, they're not as passionate as they are here in the South. But when they are winning, they'll back both of those programs. But they're not going to back them unless they're winning. They're not like South Carolina. Like if South Carolina goes 4-8, they're still going to pack out their stadium.
Right.
Whereas at USC, UCLA, if they're 4-8, well, they're going to find something else to do.
Right.
That's just a reality.
I could find something else to do in Southern California.
It is nice out there.
You know, it's a pretty beautiful place. So if my football team wasn't winning, I don't know that I may be at the beach.
Well, and that's such a pro city. You got the Rams, you got the Chargers, you got the Dodgers, the Angels, you got the Lakers and the Clippers.
Let's be honest.
For crying out loud, they got so many options out there.
L.A. is Raiders country. The Raiders run LA. It was so nice of them to build SoFi for us, like an away home stadium. It was so kind of them.
Well, when the Chargers play there, they're usually outnumbered by whatever.
They're the
fan
visiting
base is
team
out
in their
there.
home stadium.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest though. That's how Las Vegas has been because it's such a travel destination place. The Steelers, when they came to town, it might as well have been a home game for them.
Well, the Steelers travel. So make no mistake about that.
Yeah.
Then the Vegas thing. Understand, the majority of their fans. I mean, they have their stand. But everybody makes that a destination, and they have the highest ticket prices in the league.
I know. I still haven't gotten to go out there. I can fly there for $72 out of Chattanooga, but I can't afford. I'm gonna have to go put everything on black and hope that it hits, and buy a ticket.
It's nuts. It's a beautiful stadium, and I mean, like for their hockey team, okay. I was out there a couple of years ago for my birthday. Now, I love hockey, okay, and
You're a Blackhawks guy, aren't you?
oh yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going to Chicago in a couple of weeks to play in the Blackhawk Alumni Golf Tournament. They're kind enough
that's
to have
cool.
me.
That's cool.
So I get to see all the heroes of my childhood. But I went to a hockey game there, and I sat 5 rows from the top of the stadium. And they put on a great show. My ticket was $195 for 5 rows from the top. And you couldn't get in there with a crowbar. I mean, they had people wedged in there. I don't know how many standing room only people they had. But it's a beautiful stadium. And, man, you get in and out of there. It's amazing how fast they move people in and out of T-Mobile Arena. And it's a beautiful arena, and was a great experience.
Think about Las Vegas for a minute, guys. Just 10, 15 years ago, they didn't have a single pro sports team. Now they've got the Raiders, which is the NFL is the NFL. It dominates. The A's will be there in a couple years. They've got the NHL franchise. I mean, they're talking, about maybe an NBA. I don't know about NBA, but I mean, think about that. This is a city that, 15 years ago they had nothing. And now all of a sudden they've got 3 professional major sports franchises.
Well, don't forget the Lady Aces too. Yeah. What it is that they fell in love with gambling in the sports, and the viewpoint of gambling in sports has changed dramatically. Okay,
it has changed.
You go to Wrigley Field, you got a DraftKings. I think it's DraftKings it's DraftKings building on the right field corner where it's even though the Cubs don't get any of the direct money from the place, you can't get in there.
Yeah.
And the fact that gambling has become so big, and that the leagues have kind of, we're not looking the other way, but we've decided to embrace it, and
but the
Vegas
players,
is great.
the players still can't dabble in it. We know that.
No.
Unless you're Shohei Ohtani.
Well, no, I would take that. I'd say Ohtani's a little bit more innocent than the 2 guys in Cleveland that just got their lockers cleaned out.
Yeah.
Some friends of mine that I know that are in baseball, Ohtani was kind of really in the dark. So, and I know everybody thinking, hey, Ohtani,
I believe
they
that
look
too.
the other way. And the people that I know are very, very in the know. And so they would not, if he was guilty, they would have had to go and get him because you can't.
I agree. I think that is the fact. I think for sure that you would definitely Major League Baseball, they cannot afford to let something like that go because, I mean, for crying out loud, we've seen gambling. Pete Rose was on the ban list for forever, and he passes away. Now he's going to be eligible. We'll see how long it takes. But they can't afford to show any favoritism.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep that stuff in the dark. When people know about it, it's going to get out.
Well, the two pitchers for Cleveland from the Guardians.
Yes,
Cleese
that's
and,
right.
And the other guy, they're. I saw a tweet. Yeah, Bob Nightingale reported that they cleaned out their lockers and they'll probably never see another baseball game again. So,
So apparently they were betting on baseball. That's what
I don't know if
sounds
it's here. It could be, but I forget the umpire's name. The guy had a perfect game last year in the World Series. As a matter of fact, he was the best ball and strike umpire in baseball, and he was related or tied to some type of gambling somehow. And they said, "You got to go." I'm sorry,
you just can't take that risk.
Right.
You can't take that risk because if you think for just a smidgen that game's not legit.
Right.
Everything changes at that point.
Well, you can gamble. I mean, you go to a professional baseball game, you can gamble on what the pitch is going to. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
What you can do on your app. I mean, if you have the DraftKings or that's DraftKings. That's the one that's in my mind. There's other ones.
Yeah, there's other ones.
Like
ESPN,
ESPN,
of course, ESPN is ESPN.
But you can. I can bet on the pitch. Okay.
Yeah. Balls and strikes. My favorite thing that's been a gambling thing that people have been gambling on recently is Angel Reese, whether she makes the first shot or not. There's a group of guys that bet no every single game, and they watch just the first couple seconds of the game to see if she makes the first shot or not. And if she misses, they go crazy. So I always think,
did you hear?
Even that's funny.
She's trying to have the me bound as part of what's that called when they do that
not franchise, but when you own the rights to it.
Yeah.
Copyright.
Yeah, copyrighted.
She's trying to copyright me bound.
Wow.
Which hey,
make your money, girl.
maybe she. What about she bound? Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but I mean seriously, I think that it is a dynamic. Gambling is what it is.
Oh.
Listen, it used to be taboo for even announcers to even mention the point spread.
Right.
I remember the first one I ever heard say it was Brent Musburger.
Right.
He actually started talking about the point spread during the games, and this is probably a good 10, 15 years ago, and he was like the first one I ever heard say that. And then nowadays, you hear it all the time.
Yeah, well, he's out of Vegas. I mean, I've been to his
By the way, he
studio
just got
in
inducted
the
to
South
the-
Point Hotel. I mean, I've never seen him there, but they said this is his studio, and Musburger was always the leading edge guy for that. But again, we've fallen in love with the gambling of it and the excitement of it, and but gambling's been going on here. Fantasy football's a gamble.
No, it is.
Okay,
It is.
and that's been going on since how long has fantasy football been around?
Forever, yeah.
Mark, I want to change gears for a minute. We were talking before we got on the air. I think you said year 47?
46.
46 in umpire or not
As a
umpire,
high school
excuse me,
football
as a
official.
high school football
Right.
official. Talk about the area high school football. We've got a lot of really really good teams around here.
We got
a lot of great middle school teams as well.
Here, I had Lake Forest and Silver there. I can't even remember the teams. I have black and white. That's how I remember.
Your team.
Someone asked me about, I had such and such a game. Who won? I said, I couldn't tell you who wins. I never can tell you who wins the game. But it's been great. I would never forget we were at Ray County and Andy Kelly was playing there, and I forget who they were playing, but it was like 4th and 30, and they're back on like their 5-yard line. He quick kicks the ball. It was 3rd down. He quick kicked the ball 70 yards.
Oh my goodness! Talk about
Okay,
flipping
you saw
the
that.
field.
Let's see. Watching Suzanne Bradley play, watching the Cleveland, back when they were winning the things, and all the great
Did you ever see
players.
Hubert Simpson?
Hubert Simpson was before I got in.
Best high school running back I personally have ever seen in person. Now I haven't seen them all, but my goodness, Hubert Simpson
was a great player for McMinn County.
Yes.
Shazan Bradley was a great player for them. Shazan never came. He came off the field on kickoffs. It was the only time he wasn't on the field.
Yeah, he was an awesome.
But you've had the Cobb twins. You've had Dante Hickey. You had Kenny Hooper.
Oh yeah.
You had Franklin Elmore.
Yep.
Those are some of the kids.
When Bradley won a state championship in '76, of course, those mid '90s Cleveland teams.
We've been throwing around the drive, potentially going to have a week where we talk about this, the best athlete to come out of Cleveland or Bradley County. Wow. And so, I'll give you some time to think about it. Maybe we can.
There's a guy that I went to school with, Gary Do-It-All Hall, was a great athlete. Of course, Dante Hickey.
Boo Carter's got to be up there. I know he only played 1 year, but I'm sorry, he was awesome.
Bradley's had their fair share of guys, and so you take a look at that. I mean, like Scott Kyle was the quarterback of the '76 team, and it was funny. Scott lived across the street from me was like growing up. So after our games on Friday night, they had the Phillipses always hosted a party at their house, and I went there. So that's how I met all the Bradley guys.
Right.
You know,
Because I went to school with all those guys.
You know,
I was going to Bradley when they won that
yeah.
championship.
I'm just trying to think offhand. You know, you've had
Steve Sloan.
He may be the greatest athlete.
You know, how about Alvin Scott? I mean, you know, here you start Gloria. I mean, you just start thinking of
and now start throwing out some of the female athletes for crying out loud. You know.
You know, I mean, again, we've been very blessed in this community, and I hope people realize that what we have is something that's special that not everybody's got. You know, and when in my travels, like when I was just in Chicago and I was talking to a baseball coach from the University of Illinois Chicago, and we were talking about our high schools and this and that, and it's unbelievable, you know. And the way we're talking, if I would have stayed, my father and mother, and not moved here to open the McDonald's, I would have probably went to Loyola Academy, which is in the state of Illinois, is one of the premier things, and what they've done with their facilities. I mean, you know, they've had turf for God knows how long, stuff like that. I mean, you look and see the facilities that we play in. I mean, you go look at what Walker Valley's got in their football facility, Cleveland, of course, and Bradley, what they've got. You know, you got the Raider Arena. I mean,
that's an awesome arena.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I tell a lot of people, like, when they move in here, our middle schools operate like high schools, and our high schools operate like small colleges.
Right.
The way that they go about sports, the way that they prepare for sports. You know, we're very blessed with a lot of great coaches around here as well that are leading a lot of great young men, young women. So as a community, I agree, Mark. We should feel very blessed that we have the things that we have.
I know, and it's exciting what Cleveland opens up with Walker Valley, and then Walker Valley next week plays Bradley.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You know, and throw McMinn in there. McMinn is in there. Bradley opens up with McMinn.
Then Walker Valley's got him week 3.
And then Cleveland's got him week 2, I think.
Yeah, like a round robin around.
It is. It's so great football.
For sure. Let's go ahead and take our first break of the day. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about some football. Yes, we are going to get into the Braves as well. You're listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. We'll be back after this.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Hardees is hiring. Join the Star Team. Flexible scheduling, daily pay, free meals, 20% family discount, plus paid vacation for part-time and full-time employees. Apply in-store or online at hardees.com today.
Hip or knee pain holding you back? There's a new reason to feel hopeful. Dr. Andrew Carlone is now part of the team at Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics in Cleveland. He brings advanced training in total hip and knee replacement, including minimally invasive techniques that get you back on your feet faster. Let Cleveland's orthopedic experts help you live your best life. Call 423-624-2696 or go to sportmed.com to book your visit now.
When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357.
This is Thomas Williams with Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Stop by today and take advantage of Bradley County's largest pre-owned inventory, or visit cleveland-nissan.com, home of the lifetime warranty.
Do your legs feel heavy, tired, or achy? Dr. James Gooden at Milligan Vein offers an office treatment that can make you look and feel better, and your procedure is covered by most insurance. Visit milliganvein.com or call Dr. Gooden today at 423-961-5682.
Duracell in Cleveland is hosting a hiring event this Saturday, August 9th from 9 to 1. They are looking for mechanically skilled individuals ready to work in a fast-paced, team-oriented environment. They have immediate openings, interviews and job openings on site, competitive pay, benefits, and long-term growth potential. Bring your resume to the big hiring event at Duracell on Mouse Creek Road in Cleveland from 9 to 1 this Saturday. Duracell will help power up your future.
A financial advisor can only have one first loyalty, and at Alon Planning Partners, ours is to you. That's why we and our team of independent fiduciary advisors work to create comprehensive plans that bring stability and peace of mind. We don't just help you get to retirement, we want to ensure that you get through retirement. So call us today for your personalized complimentary planning session, 423-315-1441, or visit alonplanning.com, ALLON planning.com to schedule your appointment today.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
You're listening to ESPN Cleveland. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Hey, when it comes to Mayfield Dairy Ice Cream, you'll never have a boring bite. Their limited edition ice creams, cherry, chocolate chip, and banana pudding, are inspired by traditional Southern recipes and seasonal favorites. Pick some up today at your local grocery store. And, of course, Mayfield, a big supporter for Atlanta Braves baseball. After the game on Sunday where they beat the Reds, the Braves beat the Reds. They go back home yesterday and they drop a 3-1 final to a very, very talented Milwaukee Brewers team. So this season is what it is for the Atlanta Braves. We've talked about all the injuries that they have endured. I think I'm okay with the Braves not making a lot of changes because I believe in their mindset, they believe with a healthy roster or a healthier roster that they'd be in the mix in 2025. But that's just not the case this year. They're banking on the fact that not all these guys will all get hurt in 2026. Thus, the core of this team will be back next year.
Well, when you listen to Alex Anthropov talk, that's exactly what he said. Hey, they tried to make some deals at the deadline, and people thought they'd be sellers, and they were actually buyers and trying to get better. And here, you guys get well. I mean, they've got a great nucleus of players, and it's a big mystery in baseball that the Braves have struggled so bad. And plus, also like their record in one-run games is
abysmal.
They're like 6-30 or something like that.
It's ridiculous.
And so, but they got a good ball club, and they'll get better. Now the question is, do they bring Snitker back? I know there's some rumblings about him.
What's your personal opinion? What do you? I believe he's going to retire. I could be 100%. I have nothing to go off of that. My gut feeling tells me that Snitker retires at the end of this season.
I think so too. I think it's time. I think he's been in that organization forever.
Oh gosh, forever. You're right.
And so I mean, at what point in time? And people have no idea. The average fan has no idea what a strain on your family it is to be a professional athlete, especially in baseball where you're on a road trip. It's a 10-game road trip, or and you travel to the east, to the west coast, and you're out there in the different time zones. And people think that you just show up at 7 o'clock and play. People don't see the guys getting into the stadium at noon and taking ground balls. I was at a game where Mookie Betts took 100 ground balls before a game. And that's how Mookie Betts is one of the best players in the game, because he goes about his work. But the average fan, they never see that, because the gates open an hour and a half before the game. They go in, they watch maybe the end of the visiting team taking batting practice. Most of the guys have already done their work, and there's no ground balls or fly balls being caught. And they see guys take batting practice, think that's it, and they go in, have a snack in the clubhouse, and they come out and play. It wears on you, and then I think having the season that the Braves have had has definitely got to be wearing on you. Your bullpen is just falling apart.
Well, the bullpen's falling apart. All 5 starters that were on that they began the season with, they're all on the IL. It is just really. they're a snake pit team this year. They just are snake pit. I mean, my goodness, every time you turn around, somebody's getting nicked up, somebody's getting hurt. I guess Olsen's probably the only guy that really hasn't had any type of injury, but he has played every game. But it's unbelievable. Every time you turn around, there's someone like you got Acuna, then you got, Austin Riley hurt his ribs making that play at home plate against Ela de la Cruz. So you've got, it seems like it's always something.
Right.
Yeah, and I was shocked to hear that the Braves were, like you said, weren't sellers. They were actually buyers trying to go get Buxton. They were one of the two teams that were really pushing hard to try to bring him on. I think the Braves believe in, like you said, the nucleus of their team. I think they know that the bones are good. They just have to stay healthy. My only issue is that a guy like Max Fried is in pinstripes. Like those are the things that he should have been paid. Just pay the man. And, you look at the season he's having in New York. Mm-hmm. Those are my only qualms with the Braves. Sometimes they act like they're a small market team when in all reality, the battery brings in like so much money, it's ridiculous. It frustrates me sometimes.
Anthropov, I don't question him. Hey, he made a great move with getting rid of Freddie Freeman, and the only difference with Freddie Freeman was the 5th or 6th year. And that 6th year, Freddie Freeman wanted, and he said no.
Yep.
That the money is exactly the same. I can't argue with the guy's success. I'll tell you, a team that's snake-bitten is the Yankees.
They are, man.
They fell off hard, hard.
I mean, and they can't catch a cold. I mean, you watch some of their plays. The bonehead plays they do on the bases here lately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got. That Chisholm guy, he's a good ball player.
What was he thinking the other day on that little pop-up to the second baseman? First off, the first base coach has got to be yelling for him, get back. But still, that's just bonehead.
But there's a guy who I think should really be on the hot seat is Boone. My second favorite team or third favorite team is the Yankees because my grandfather was a big Yankee fan. He loved Babe Ruth and Luke.
Okay, so Cubs are first.
Cubs, Dodgers.
Yankees.
And that's because my good friend Rick Honeycutt and Marty Lamb, who's a major scout for the Dodgers, we've just become good friends. And I've spent some time with Rick and your friendship. And if it can't be the Cubs, why not the Dodgers? But the Yankees, that's
terrifically run organization out there for sure.
Everybody gets mad at the Dodgers, but they run it like a business, okay? They don't skimp on scouts. They don't skimp on player personnel. I mean, I've had the pleasure of being in their spring training clubhouse, and it's unbelievable. I mean, before a game, they got 3 sous chefs. What do you want?
Goodness.
I mean, and then they spend the money on the players. They take good care of the players. And they're committed to winning. Mark Walters is, he's into a little bit of everything. He just bought the Lakers for $10 billion. And they're looking to buy more. But they're committed to winning.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to spend the money. And they're smart business people. The Ohtani contract cost the Dodgers nothing.
I know it.
The
all that deferred money.
International broadcast rights to the Los Angeles Dodgers starting last year was $700 million.
Mm-hmm.
What was Shohei Ohtani's contract? $700 million.
Yep.
The Dodgers are paying them $2 million, and the rest they're putting away. And of course, there's some things that they're investing with the money. And then you take a look at Yamamoto's money; he's making $325. And if you ever see him do an interview, there's always the tire company. He's right behind him.
Yokohama.
So they run it like a business, and again, they invest in their players, and you go. See the things that they have, and they're first class in everything, and plus their fan base is nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we've all been to Major League Baseball games, and we've seen some fans in jerseys. Okay, and they got the little MLB logo on it because that's how the players get their marketing money. I've yet to ever been to a stadium or a game where the Dodgers played that 98% of the people don't have a Major League jersey, and I don't care if they're a newborn baby or they're 900 years old. They all have a jersey, And again, that's just the extra income that comes in, and
Yeah. So talking about the business side of the sport, something we've thrown around here on the show a couple times. Me and Jim are kind of in favor of baseball going to a salary cap. Andy's completely against it. Where do you stand on it?
It's not going to happen.
Well, we know it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. The players' union is too strong.
Yeah, we know it's not going to happen. What's your opinion? If it could, would you want?
Here, they're probably going to get a basement. So there's going to force teams
a floor.
Yeah. I call it. It's called the basement floor, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have something. The players definitely, and the baseball players union is unbelievably strong, and so is their umpires union. It's just as strong as the.
We talked about that,
and that's how Angel Hernandez and Joe West
hung on forever.
And so those guys stay in, but a salary cap, it's not going to happen. You're going to see, and here this is August 5th, 2025. Next year at this time, we're going to be talking about a lockout because 27 is probably not going to happen. That they're going to lock them out, and it's going to get real interesting to see who's pointing fingers at who, and
All right, staying with baseball. I saw this today, or heard this today actually. There's 4 cities being thrown out there as possible expansion locations, or maybe some teams could relocate. But you got Salt Lake City, Nashville, Charlotte, and Montreal. If you could pick, it's the same Major League Baseball expands, and you had those 4 cities to select from. Let me go over them again: Salt Lake City, Nashville, Charlotte, Montreal. Which 2 would you want?
Nashville and Salt Lake City are definitely in. The Nashville, and listening to people talk, Nashville and Salt Lake City are the 2. And if there's 2 more, it's probably Charlotte and Portland.
What about Montreal?
The problem with Montreal is that you pay the players in American dollars. Now from the player standpoint, they love Montreal. They love the nightlife of Montreal. But from a player's, but from a money-making thing, it's tough to make money because the players are paid in American dollars, and the Canadians, pay in Canadian dollars. So the money doesn't work. So, and plus Montreal struggled to really take care of the Expos, when they weren't good.
Obviously, they would not play at Olympic Stadium. They would have to build a new facility, probably with a retractable roof or a fixed roof.
I would see the Players Union really pushing to keep the game in the States.
You still got Toronto, though.
Yeah, well, I'd see them pushing. But here, Nashville is definitely on the radar. And Salt Lake City, which really kind of surprised me, but if there's going to be 2 teams out in the West, it will be Salt Lake City and Portland.
So we had a guest on probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and one of the big concerns he had with Nashville is the real estate, not having somewhere to build it. What do you think about that, being a Tennessee resident and being such a...
It's not going to be a problem.
They'll find spot.
Here, you want a Major League Baseball team, there's only 30. Right now, there's only 30 of them, and then there's going to be 32. You want a Major League Baseball team, they'll find the real estate.
All right, let me ask you all this. Do you think Nashville would be better as an American League franchise or a National League franchise? Obviously, Atlanta would be a good rival. Then I guess Nashville would be a rival with St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Atlanta. But what do you think, American League or National League, if Nashville were to get a team?
Let's see. Right now, they're the Brewers, so it would be National League. I think their farm team is the Brewers that are the.
Yeah, but that can be changed.
But no, but that's been a National League city for a long time. So there's that.
I mean, think about the location, Nashville. You really, they're almost directly in the middle between St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Atlanta. Right. I think it'd be fun. Now, diehard Braves fans like this gentleman right here, he does not want it at all. And I get that. I do get it.
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's a selfish thing. Well, if Nashville to me has proven that it's a sports city. It's still to this day my favorite NFL draft is the one that happened in Nashville.
2019, wasn't it?
Everybody up and down Broadway, it's bumping. So I'm not going to argue that it would be a great location. I just, as a Braves fan, this is Braves country to me.
I don't know about that, but Nashville would be a great town. Charlotte is always their name.
And that's a growing city, too.
They can't, they keep them. But there's 4 or 5, towns that will be in there. But here, with the natural rivalries, it would be more of a national. I would think it would be a national
I would think so, too. But there again, who knows? And my thing about this is that you got to fix what's going on in Tampa right now. Major League Baseball, it's a disaster. The club's for sale. We know that.
Right.
And somebody's going to buy that franchise, whether they keep it in Tampa or they get to move it to Orlando, or they're going to move it out of the state of Florida. I don't know, but that's a disaster right now.
Well, first off, that Tampa Stadium was built to get the Chicago White Sox.
That's right. I remember. And they built it in St. Petersburg instead of Tampa.
Yeah, which that was a mistake, too. And the ownership, the team is for sale, and they're talking about Major League Baseball really wants to keep the team in Tampa. I personally would get the teams out of Tampa and Miami and relocate them.
Although, have you seen what Miami's done lately?
Yeah. Well,
now, obviously, their attendance was bumped up because of a lot of Yankees fans, but they actually were 35,000 people at a couple games last week.
Yeah, well, that's, again...
it's mostly Yankees fans,
but
though.
I would never have put, in the beginning, I would never have put teams in Florida and Arizona. I wouldn't have put those teams in there because in spring training, you go to a game and you pay $30 to sit behind home plate. You go to the Diamondbacks game, that same seat at Chase Field, that's $30 one day. The next day, it's $300.
Yeah.
So, and again, you go to games in Arizona, the Diamondbacks are second fiddle to the Cubs, the Giants, and the Dodgers and the Padres. It's and so you have that, and then of course the thing in Tampa, what's a disaster with the stadium. The Yankees, of course, own Tampa, so they would look in there again. If you're going to move the team, you move it to Charlotte. That would be a great baseball town. So.
We shall see. We shall see. Let's go ahead and take our second break. Hey, you are listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. When we come back, we're going to get a little bit more into some college football, a little trash talk going on already here early in August. You're listening to ESPN Cleveland. We'll be back after this.
The Drive will be back after a quick
This is John Davis, the trading man at Kia Cleveland, and that's the sound of progress. We're under construction, and we're hammering out the best deals in the car business. Your price, your trade, and your credit will not be a problem. Bring us any trade in any condition, and we'll give you $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair market value toward the purchase of any new Kia in our giant inventory. Yes, $7,000 more than your trade is worth. Is your credit less than perfect? That's okay. At Kia Cleveland, our lenders will say yes to you and yes to your situation. Remember, we'll be any deal from anywhere in Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama. So, if you want $7,000 over Kelly Blue Book Fair market value for your trade, come see me, John Davis, at Kia Cleveland on South Lee Highway in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee, where trading your car is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Looking for the dealer who's gonna give you more. Kia of Cleveland Superstore.
Offer subject to lender approval. Expires month end.
KiaofCleveland.com.
Now at Hardees, 2 hand-breaded chicken tender wraps are only $5. Mix and match your favorite flavors like buttermilk ranch, honey mustard, and spicy. Endless combinations start with 2 warm tortillas, each filled with 100% white meat, juicy on the inside, crispy on the outside, hand-breaded chicken tenders. Any 2 wraps, now just $5. Hardees, goodness in the making. These items only. Price and participation may vary. Tax not included. Visit restaurant for details.
Duracell in Cleveland is hosting a hiring event this Saturday, August 9th from 9 to 1. They are looking for mechanically skilled individuals ready to work in a fast-paced, team-oriented environment. They have immediate openings, interviews and job openings on site, competitive pay, benefits, and long-term growth potential. Bring your resume to the big hiring event at Duracell on Mouse Creek Road in Cleveland from 9 to 1 this Saturday. Duracell will help power up your future.
For a quarter of a century, Mix 1041 has been taking you out to the ball games.
Swanson to first. The Browns are world champions.
Since 2000, Mix 1041 has been the home of the Atlanta Braves, and we're celebrating by giving away tickets to Atlanta Braves games all summer long. Listen for your chance to call or text to qualify. You can also register at the Mix socials on Facebook and Instagram. Braves 25 is presented by Cleveland Ford. Honest people, honest deals.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
Need a new shop, garage, or other unique space? Explore post-frame building kits from Best Buy Metals. Best Buy Metals kits utilize steel trusses for the ultimate in strength and durability. When you need it to last, call Best Buy Metals. Stop by or visit bestbuymetalroof.com for your custom structure.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Listening to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Hey, Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians $22 to $27 an hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one: medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. And we're really very happy to have Mark Smith pinch hitting, if you will, for Andy. And, of course, Jacob's here, as usual. But having a good time talking all sorts of stuff. Let's talk a little bit about some trash talking going on. You got to love this. Of course, Andy, he loves this stuff. I know that Jacob does too. But we got two players that threw some shade out towards Tennessee today. Syracuse linebacker Fatum Diggs with some bulletin board material. He goes, when that game comes, we'll show people how we really get down, which I don't think that's a good play on words there, get down, like down in the score. And then Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt's quarterback, we can beat Tennessee literally any given Saturday. Blank every one of them dudes, you know? You gotta love it, guys.
Diego's had a busy summer. I mean, I know that's a Netflix documentary, and so it was filmed last year. But man, that guy has had a very, very busy summer talking up there in Nashville.
Who won the game last year? Who spotted them 17 points? Okay, Mr. Pavia ought to just go sit down and go over to Peabody and get his degree.
He says he came back to Vanderbilt to win a national championship. Yeah, well, I mean, come on. I'm sorry. There are some schools out there that I don't think can ever win a national championship, and frankly, I think Vanderbilt's one of those schools.
How about we try to win an SEC championship first? Because Tulane has one under their belt, but Vandy doesn't.
Clark Lee's a great coach. He's a good friend. I've known Clark a long time when he was at Bowling Green and then Notre Dame, and so he's a good man and he's a good coach, but they just don't have the horses, okay? The Alabama game was a fluke.
That was unbelievable.
Tennessee never got off the bus, and when they got off the bus, they waxed them. So, and then plus they got to come to Knoxville, so Mr. Pavia is going to, they'll just sit there and talk. And now I'm not the trash talk guy, because all I do is I point to the scoreboard. That's all the trash talking that you need.
Yeah, Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame was the upset of the year last year, but that Vandy win over Alabama, that ranks way up there.
I'll say this. I have that Alabama-Vandy game circled because I truly believe the defensive line for Alabama, what they will do will be illegal in 49 other states except Alabama that week. What they are going to do to Dylan Pavia is going to be illegal in the rest of the country, just not in Alabama.
We'll just see. I realize that there's today's social media and everybody's taking the hype and everything like that. Again, the best thing to do is we'll see you on whatever day we play you. And then that's when we'll do the talking.
Yeah, I know that, and that's something Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, a lot of these coaches, they keep their players with such a tight lip, and it's always one of my favorite when one of those players mess up, and you can tell in the interview that Nick or Kirby or somebody is going to chew them out. Do you remember it was the defensive lineman for Alabama? He started to say something about Clemson. He went,
Oh, I don't remember that.
I'll have to show you the. He stopped and they're like, "What were you going to say?" And he just goes, "Nothing."
Yeah, I don't want to run those steps when I get done with this interview and everything.
And your well-coached teams, you'll never have that problem. Okay, in high school, you have the coaches that yell and scream are the coaches that never win. Okay.
You remember Tom Osborne?
Yeah.
I've heard that he was as calm on the practice field as he looked on the sideline. You never saw him. You never saw this guy scream and yell. All he did was win.
Right.
All he did was win. the guy never won fewer than 9 games in 25 years in Lincoln, Nebraska. To me, he's one of my favorite all-time coaches because he had such a demeanor on the sideline. And yes, they lost that heartbreaking game to Miami, but it didn't affect him as a human being. I just love that guy. I always loved Tom
He also
Osborne.
had those extra scholarships too. So.
Well, the walk-on program at Nebraska was second to none.
The county scholarship.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
It. So
that's right.
He had that. So, but no, Osborne was a great. Never said a word.
Who is your favorite? Was not a coach of one of your favorite. Who is a coach out there that you admired? And I gave mine, Tom Osborne. I'm not a Nebraska fan. I always admired that guy because I always thought that he exuded class, and I just thought he would have been a guy. I think would have been a guy I would have loved to have sent my son to play for.
Bear Bryant. I think what Bear Bryant did when he got to Alabama, and then when he played John McKay and the integration of the black players into
Sam
the game.
Bam Cunningham.
Bam Cunningham ran through Alabama like a hot knife through butter.
Yep.
And I thought that he was, and as I've learned about Coach Bryant, is that he was a forward thinker. He was always looking forward to trying to make the game better. How do we become better coaches? And, I saw a thing I read that just, oh, God, my memory's going bad, a couple days ago where he and a couple other white coaches would go down to Florida A&M, and they'd have a coaches meeting with all the black coaches, and they would learn and they would talk to one another. And back in that day, that was unheard of.
Yep.
But he would do that to learn, and so. But I would say Bear Bryant.
What about Mark Richt? I love that guy. Mark Richt was class, man.
He was and is. Until Kirby won, they had the identical record up until the year that Georgia finally broke through. They had their records were identical.
At the same point in their careers,
right.
Yeah.
Right now, like in current college football, I've been a big fan of Kenny Dillingham at ASU.
How long will he stay there?
They'll have to sign him either. Extend him because I think he's one of the up and coming coaches in college football, and one I think he leads from the front. One of my favorite stories about him this last offseason, he got a bonus for his 9th win, and he went around to the janitor staff, the people that worked, and gave it all away.
And he's an ASU guy. He's a Phoenix guy. If you were talking current coaches, the guy I really like, and I've gotten to know him over the past couple of years, is Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, he's a good one.
He's an unbelievable person. He's a great coach. But he's a 1,000 times better person, and I've had the pleasure of spending, quality one-on-one time with Marcus. I think he is. Kenny Dillingham, he's up and coming. He's got to mature a little bit. If you saw the Utah game last year, or BYU in Sun Devil Stadium, where they almost threw the game away. But I think that's a good learning. But he's a class act, and they are really high on him. As a matter of fact, they gave him some more money, and they're continuing to put some money into the program now that Graham Rossini, who is the new athletic director in there, he's making the commitment.
Did you see that they are going to open up the practice facility for tailgates on game day?
What?
ASU.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're trying to do something a little different. And
that's cool.
If you've ever been to Sun Devil Stadium, it's really, they have really built it all up. There's hotels. There's at the southwest corner of the stadium, they've built a couple hotels. They've got a major food court with several restaurants, kind of like the Battery or Wrigleyville, that they've developed that. So they've lost parking. They let you tailgate in the parking lots, but in the parking garages, but you can't have a grill in the parking garage. If you're on the top level, you can.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Let's just be honest now.
But the parking is a premium, and so that the fact that they're going to open that up, and that's across Scottsdale Road or Rural Road out there in Arizona, to be able to do that. And what it is the Karsten Golf Course that used to be the home course of ASU, they moved out, so that's all open land. And they moved over to Papago Park, where the golf program is at now. So they've opened that all up. So they've made space across the street.
What's the best tailgating you've ever been to? I've never been there, but I've been to some good. I mean, I go to a lot of Ohio State. They've got great tailgating there. Knoxville does too. I've heard that the Grove in Ole Miss doesn't take backseat to anybody. I've never been there. Have you ever been there?
No, I've never been there. I've heard that. I tell you, LSU is a great place to tell.
Oh, I'm sure LSU is.
A friend of mine that lives in New Orleans.
Have you ever been up through the Vol Navy? You ever gone up on a boat?
No, I've never been on a boat. I've never gone
it.
up on a boat, but I've been on a boat. But my buddy, he says those crazy Cajuns, if they got a Saturday night game, they're there Wednesday night starting to drink.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And they cook and they tailgate and they party, and then you go in Death Valley, and it's a tough place to play.
Yeah, I was going to say LSU is one. I like the Grove. I know this is going to sound a little biased, but Georgia, really the town is a tailgate because there's 80 bars in a square mile. So really the whole downtown area becomes a tailgate. So, I mean, I'll say this. SEC country has got it down.
I would love to go, and I've never been to a Florida-Georgia game in Jacksonville. I've heard it's awesome.
It's fun. It's fun. It's definitely a different atmosphere with it being a split stadium. I got to go a couple years back. I sat in the club level, so that was pretty neat.
Okay.
It was fun, but the tailgating is a little bit different just because you're parking wherever you can, but there is a row. It's in an RV park. And half the Georgia fans are over here, half the Florida fans are over here, and you walk down the aisle and you're getting either barked at by one group or getting chomps in your face by the other.
I will say this. The last time I went to an Alabama game, y'all going to love it. It's been a while. Mike Shula was the head coach. Okay, this is before Saban became the Alabama head coach. I was so disappointed. I was expecting more. But I'm sure it's much better now than it was under the Mike Shula era.
Well, winning is a cure-all.
Sure it
okay?
is.
Yeah.
And you were talking Athens, Georgia. Here, you ever been there? It's a one-trick. I mean, that's all they got is this football stadium, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, so there's not a whole beautiful, beautiful place. Absolutely gorgeous. But, I mean, it's a one-trick town.
Oh, it's a college town.
Yeah.
It's bars in the stadium.
Yeah,
That's about it.
Yeah.
We're talking about stadiums and everything. I saw this. Vanderbilt, their new end zones are looking sweet. I know it's Vanderbilt, and they're still only going to have like 40, maybe 42,000 people. But for a small stadium like that, the way they've incorporated these two end zones, I think listen, I want Vanderbilt to be relevant. I don't want to see Vanderbilt going 2-10. I'd like to see them with an opportunity to go to a bowl once every 2 or 3 years. I do. But that's just me. I know Mark's over here just shaking his head. No. But man, they have done a lot with their stadium. You got to give them at least a little credit.
But they had to. I mean, their stadium.
They did have to.
That stadium was out of date. It was not ADA compatible. And I think the league said you need to do this, and also to get Clark Lee. That was part of the thing. Is we got to invest some money in the program, and it'll be nice. But I'll tell you, Northwestern, they're
building a brand new stadium there.
Yeah, I was just up there. They're about halfway done. Their little 15,000-seat portable stadium is really pretty cool.
On the lake?
On the lake.
Yeah, they're using that again this year.
Yes, and probably if they have to next year, but they should be done. But
they said 2026. They're ahead of schedule. They said they're good. 2026. They think they'll be okay.
They think, but when I was up there, they weren't too sure. But here they said there was one game where the wind blew off the lake and it was unbearably cold.
Well, they play the 2 November games at Wrigley Field. So they played 2 games at Wrigley Field last year, one against Ohio State. This year they've got 2 more games. The November games are both at Wrigley Field. So, but the September and October games are going to be on that little lakefront.
Well, if the Cubs are in the playoffs, they may not be. But,
and the Cubs are going to be in the playoffs. They are going to be in the playoffs.
Can't hit left-handed pitching.
So we've been talking about stadiums. Mark, I know you're an avid sports fan and you're involved in a lot of sports. What's your favorite stadium that you visited? Because we talked about Bristol, Camden Yards.
Oh yeah.
Camden Yards, PNC Park in Pittsburgh is beautiful.
Never been to PNC. I have been.
When you sit in the stadium and you look out at the Clementi Bridge, it's absolutely gorgeous. Camden Yards with the warehouses there, Boog Powell's Barbecue in the right field place.
I'd love to go up to San Francisco and see what I still call it Pac Bell. Was it
AT&T?
AT&T. I'd like to go see a game there, but I've never been there.
I've not been there. I'd like to go to Fenway. I haven't been to Fenway, but Wrigley's Wrigley, even though it's Ricketts Park now because they took the bullpens out.
Yeah,
put the jumbotrons up, but the baseball gods don't recognize it anymore when they took the bullpens out. Because if you think about that, in 2016 was the last year of the bullpens.
Yep. where the players could trip over the mounds going for foul balls. Hey, Mark, thanks a lot for sitting in with us today, man. We had a blast. And tell us, you wanted to share something.
Oh, yeah. Starting in 2 weeks, we're going to start the Cleveland Football Panel Show, sponsored by Trophies Unlimited.
There you go.
We'll have that. We'll have our panel will be Karen Hall.
You're undefeated right now, by the way.
Well, I don't pick teams. Being an official, I don't pick teams. So
That's true.
Our panelists are Karen Hall, who's the assistant principal at Cleveland, Matt Jenny, who's the city president at Smart Break, and then the Bradley guy that we hired, Scott McGowan. But we do that, and we'll have a guest. We'll have Al Morris, the athletic director, Bob Pritchard, the principal of Cleveland, Dr. Elliott, and then we'll have, we'll have Howard Pride, the new basketball coach, Brianna Hensley, the girls basketball coach, Leanne Surrett, the softball coach, Brent Tucker, the baseball coach, Josh Boskin, the wrestling coach, Amy McGowan, the volleyball coach. So we're going to have a lot of people come talk about the Cleveland High School and their programs, and then at the end we'll pick games.
That'll be fun. Hey, speaking of fun, we had a blast here today. Hope everyone out there enjoyed the show. You have been listening to The Drive here on ESPN. We will see you at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Your new home for 24-hour sports coverage. ESPN Cleveland 1013. It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Don Ledford Chevrolet Buick GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland. Or visit donledford.com for details. Don Ledford, where we say yes. It's on-time traffic with Commander Chuck.
Good afternoon. Steady flow of traffic 24 through Moccasin Bend as it gets heavier on 24 out through Lookout Valley as you continue on out into Dade, Marion County. It's crowded out here. Shallowford right at the interstate. Be careful traveling on 75 there up by Shallowford Road throughout the evening. There's been plenty of radar there on and off throughout the day. Rick's Lock and Key, Chattanooga's leading locksmith since 1973. If you get locked out, it's okay. Don't panic. Just call Rick's Lock and Key in Chattanooga. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
From the Alon Planning Partners Weather Center, here's your forecast on ESPN Cleveland 1013. Visit them online at alonplanning.com or give them a call at 423-315-1441.
Mostly cloudy skies as we head through the evening. We may see one or two sprinkles here and there, but I don't think we'll see much. 68 for the overnight low. Heading through your Wednesday, 86. We will be warming up a little bit. Partly cloudy skies in the afternoon and a 30% chance of a spotty shower or thunderstorm. Pretty much the same on Thursday, 87 for the high, and once again a stray shower or storm in the afternoon. Download the Local 3 weather app, free for iPhone and Android. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Carnes for the Local 3 Storm Alert Team.
Your current Milligan Vane temperature is 79 degrees. MilliganVane.com.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Cleveland Tire Center for over 45 years with the best name in tires: Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin. North Lee Highway, Cleveland. Cleveland Tire Center, where the name says it all.
For a quarter of a century, Mix 1041 has been taking you out to the ball games.
Swanson to first. The Browns are world champions.
Since 2000, Mix 1041 has been the home of the Atlanta Braves, and we're celebrating by giving away tickets to Atlanta Braves games all summer long. Listen for your chance to call or text to qualify. You can also register at the Mix socials on Facebook and Instagram. Braves 25 is presented by Cleveland Ford. Honest people, honest deals.
We tend not to think about right now, but right now in front of us is victory over cancer. Right now, cancer research funded by the V Foundation is leading to better treatments and saving lives. When you give to the V Foundation, 100% of your donation goes directly to game-changing cancer research. Victory over cancer is there for the taking. By you. Donate at V.org. Because today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory.
Don't give up.
Don't ever give up.
Mix 1041 and Honda of Cleveland are teaming up to give one deserving teacher in our local area the chance to win a 2025 Honda Civic LX. Nominate your favorite teacher at mymix1041.com or on the Mix 1041 app.
Tuesday is $2 off drafts at Aubrey's Cleveland.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 1013.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
An extra base. The thing that he started out with when I started to ask him questions, he says, we don't have fear. He said, we can't afford fear. I got young guys. He started to talk about the team they had last year compared to this year, the actual bodies. Then 11 of their top 15 pitchers banged.
Yeah.
So why did they get Quinn Priester? Because they had nothing, and that was an April deal.
Yeah.
It might turn out to be the greatest April deal ever. If Quinn Priester throws in the playoffs and he wins a playoff game or two, you're going to look back and go, when was the last time a guy who was gotten in April actually did something to push a team along in the postseason?
Before we get more info for the game, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
This is Atlanta Braves Baseball on ESPN Cleveland 1013, WCLE HD2 and W267BI Cleveland. Driven by Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland, cleveland-nissan.com.
So you did sit down with Pat Murphy today, and I think for the Brewers, he kind of, and you know him, really, really well, he does kind of fit what a Milwaukee Brewers manager typically should be in my mind. He's a guy that is a little odd at times, but a grinder, an old school baseball guy, and that's generally what the Brewers have been over this run that they've always been on the brink, and maybe now because of the pitching, because of what they've been able to do from a roster management standpoint, this is a team that can go beyond that.
Not too high, not too low. The clubhouse is the players. He has certain things that he believes in. And again, it's not look, it's easy to say 24 games over 500. Oh, everything must be great. Everything must love each other and blah, blah, blah. Well, you bring a guy like Vaughn over and he's a different player. You get a guy like Priester who really hasn't no resume, no pedigree, but all of a sudden he's not only accepted, but now he's thriving. So there's something. He said, I don't want to talk about chemistry because it sort of gets, and I agree with him. Again, perfume on a turd. If you're a winning team, everybody thinks you all get along. It's one happy bus ride. And it doesn't mean it is. You're just winning.
Yeah.
But I think there's something about the way they play. They got a bunch of young guys. Everybody goes to the post excited to be in the major leagues, and then they're trying to stay. He said, by the way, whether it's fear, whether it's motivation, whether it's just I'll show you, he said, I don't really care what it is. It's just this idea that being up here is really kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I might as well try to get the best out of anything I can for every day that I'm here.
Yeah, it's a fun team. There's no doubt. They have Freddie Peralta going on the mound today, so the Braves have their work cut out for them. We'll preview the matchup, Freddie Peralta and Joey Wentz, a little bit later in the show. Before we do all of that, Joe Simpson sat down with Braves manager Brian Snitker earlier today. Here is that conversation. It's the Brian Snitker Report.
Before we hit the field, let's get the latest from the manager. It's time for the Brian Snitker Report, driven by Akins and Winder. See all their great deals at akinsford.com.
Welcome back to Truist Park, everybody. Joe Simpson back in the saddle today, and time for the Brian Snitker Report. And if one thing has been consistent for you guys this week, Brian, it's not catching too many breaks on the weather. Let's hope tonight is in your favor.
Yeah, no, I know. It looks like the whole week might be one of these touch and go. I was just glad that, we got that one in yesterday, and we can play through some. I mean, I know we're going to have to. We're kind of getting used to it. So hopefully it does cooperate. And, we already got a doubleheader scheduled for Saturday. So we'd like to, just get through everything else regular if we can.
Absolutely. You want to avoid another one for sure. Hey, you got Joey Wentz going tonight. He pitched great in Kansas City, maybe the best outing of his professional career. What were the things that you noticed about that outing that maybe was different from before?
Well, I mean, he's been really good since he's got this opportunity, and his breaking stuff has been really good. He's keeping the ball down, throwing a lot of strikes, and we kind of we got him stretched back out as a starter now. So hopefully he takes advantage of this and keeps doing what he's been doing, because it's been really good, and I'm happy for him.
With you being where you are in the standings, record-wise, all those things taken into account, do you use this time between now and the end of the season for some evaluation of some of the younger guys, maybe even some guys that aren't here right now that you could bring up for a while just to take a look at?
Well, I think, we had a really good look at Hurston Waldrop the other day. Man, really impressed with that, what he's done in AAA. And I think the fact that he spent the majority of the year in AAA is just speaks volumes to the development part of it. And you leave him down there, you let him work on things, and he came up here and he's a different guy that I remembered even from spring training. And, Drake Baldwin's another young guy that he's going to play a lot. I'm just he's doing too well not to, and you know what, that's kind of something for the guys above me to determine, and we're just going to continue to try and win games. I mean, these guys are going out, they're doing everything right, they're working hard, they're playing hard. It's not going in our way a lot, but it's not for lack of effort or the determination or the energy or anything like that.
Well, that's certainly good to hear, and pretty obvious too to those of us watching. One other guy I want to ask you about, unfortunately, due to the injury to Austin Riley, Nacho Alvarez is here, but he continues to impress me with his defensive ability at third base. Would you consider using him for, over the next 10 to 12 days while Austin's out at a different position, shortstop or second base?
No, I think we'll just leave him right there at third.
Okay.
That's where he's most comfortable. That's where he's, that's his best position. And, I don't think right now that where we're at right now that it's going to do us better and him to just go ahead and play third base in Austin's absence.
Okay. Well, he certainly has been picking it over there, and he's been fun to watch. So we'll look forward to that in Austin's absence. Thank you for the visit. Good luck tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
That's the Brian Snitker Report, and you heard it here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Thanks, Skip. We've got even more Braves coverage on the way as the Ford Leadoff Show continues next on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Hi, this is Braves manager Brian Snitker. I have a sign for my players to steal a base. But when I want a steal of a deal car shopping, the sign I look for is Aikens and Winder.
Thanks, Brian. Hi, this is Brad Aikens, and right now at Aikens Ford in Winder, we have over 900 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Whether it's an F-150 for work, an SUV for the family, or a Mustang to play, you'll find a great selection, all with great deals. Or if you have something special in mind, let us order it for you.
Check all the steals of deals at AikensFord.com.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Have you ever wondered if there was something special you could put on your food to make it even better? There is, and it's called the Original Louisiana Brand Hot Sauce. Perfectly blending zesty peppers, tangy vinegar, and salty salt. The Original Louisiana Brand Hot Sauce makes curly fries into curl your toes fries, and every plate of nachos into nacho heck yeah. Only the Original Louisiana Brand Hot Sauce is bold enough to be the official hot sauce of the Atlanta Braves. That's Louisiana Hot. Buy you some.
Hurry up and get your Braves tickets for the 2025 season. With great matchups and multiple seating options and packages available, there's something every fan will love. Visit Braves.com/tickets today.
Atlanta Braves pregame presented locally by Cleveland Plywood Company.